Hi, Natasha. It's Alyssa. Thank you so much for your patience. I apologize profusely. I was really sick, and then once I got better, which was happened to be after Christmas, I had a big backup of readings. This is stuff you don't need to know, but I just want to share with you because I feel really awful. And then my son on New Year's Eve, which I was going to do the readings this weekend and try to like catch up, and he fell and he got 7 staples in his head. So anyway, he's fine. Don't even worry about that. I'm just letting you know what happened to me because it's Mercury retrograde and bad stuff happens in order to, like, I don't know, make you not work, I guess, because Capricorn is about work. This is so besides the point, but I'm going to give you a little extra time to make up for this and the rambling that I just did right now. So I have to make sure that I have your correct time and everything. So you're born November 4th, my husband's birthday, 1994, at 11:44 p.m. In London, England. So there's something I had. Oh, there it is. Okay, I think that's all right. If any of that was wrong, then this reading will be wrong. And then the stuff that you wanted to know was more about your career, your talents, and your ideal personality, and maybe what age you'll settle down. And will you move around or stay in the same place? So we're going to start with your career because that's the most fun. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to look at your midheaven. So you have a Taurus midheaven. Venus is your midheaven ruler, and Venus is conjunct your IC in the 3rd house. So it's considered in the 3rd and the 4th. This can mean a couple things. One, it could mean that you want to work from home. Having a Taurus midheaven, you already want to have a comfortable job. The fact that it's conjunct your IC, which is basically your house, you would really enjoy working from home. Another thing that you would like to do is maybe possibly be supported by somebody so that you can creatively express yourself in your home and take care of your home and make your home part of your actual job. Because the 4th house is the 7th away from the 10th, it does mean that your partner, as far as your career goes, is really important to you. You might end up actually working really hard for somebody. Like, you know, you're with a guy and he is in college trying to be a lawyer. And so you're like, you know what? I know you're going to be able to support us one day. So I'm going to throw everything away and I'm going to work my ass off so that you can go to school. Because I know that when you're done, you're going to be able to support me for me to do my things. There's a sacrifice that you might do in your career for somebody else because your 7th or your 10th ruler is 7 houses away. It is still in the 3rd a little bit. The 3rd is about the community, so you could want to work in your community. It's in Scorpio, which is interesting too. So you're very loyal to your job. And that means that if you get into some shitty place, a shitty job, it'd be really hard for you to leave. So you do have to work on that, the ability to let go and not burn bridges. Because what happens is, it's Taurus and Scorpio in your job, is that you'll be like, I can't leave. I'm so loyal. I can't leave. I can't leave. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I hate this place. I'm going to burn it down to the ground. And you just leave. And you're like, you. And then you are gone. And you burned all your bridges. Instead, you would have had this really great long career behind you that could have gotten you another job in the future. But that may not have totally for you might not be a big deal, because if you are capable of being your own boss, that would be great. Venus is conjunct your sun. Sun is the boss planet. You want to be your own employer. And you're going to be, and that's the best way for you to be able to live out your life. Venus conjunct the sun also does make you very creative. Your north node, though, is in the 4th. I'm kind of going through your stellium right now. Because your north node, that's your destiny. So I do think, and it sort of supports my theory, that you might support somebody for a long time before they actually get back and support you. By the time you finally come to terms with your own ability to work out your creative endeavors and your creative juices at home and be your own boss, all of that might come once you have found the support of a partner, or even just an extra amount of money that you've saved up so that you can do that. But because you have Jupiter, North Node, Sun, and Venus on Scorpio, all in your 4th house, and Pluto and Moon, but those are in Sagittarius. So we're just going to look at the Scorpio for right now. Those are all of your benefic planets. So you are really inclined to reach your destiny, and you believe in your destiny so much. I think this is really important because some people have a hard time trying to fulfill their South Node. And your South Node is 14 degrees Taurus, right? So your North Node, your South Node is conjunct your midheaven, almost exact by 2 degrees. Now your Sun is exact conjunct your IC at 12 degrees, which is also very interesting, very cool. You kind of burn your whole chart up. You have so much fire and passion, and the more you are capable of doing what you want to do and creatively, the better off you'll be, because sometimes, like I said, you can just destroy the whole world with what is brewing underneath you, and it'd be better if you could get that out creatively and artistically because of Venus, because of your destiny. Now, since your South Node is conjunct your midheaven, it's backwards, okay? Because normally what we do is we start off from the bottom and we get up here, but you started off here. So you might have been born to work, born to be a little bit in the spotlight, worried about your public image, caring about it, being forced to care about your public image, and there's a part of you that wants to throw all of that away, destroy it all, and come down to yourself and your roots and be who you were born to be. Another thing is that Taurus, and having your South Node up there, is all about owning things. You feel like you want to own everything. You got to put your stamp on it. Like you won't create anything unless it's 100% you, unless you're all over it. So even if you were to collab with somebody, you'd be like, this person did this, I did this. My work is like my work, and there are boundaries and barriers, and nobody can take control of that. Well, wherever your South Node is, that is where we're sort of a bottomless pit. Like we can't fulfill that ever. The more we try to fulfill it, the more we just seem to be shoving shit in there. So the more you try to create things and own what you've created, and put your stamp on it and don't let anybody change it and don't take anybody else's ideas, you're not going to be satisfied, and you're not really going to be able to figure out why. You have to think in terms of Scorpio with your life at all times, which I don't think you're going to have a horrible problem with because of all of your benefic planets in Scorpio. So your life, we don't always get to reach our destiny. Sometimes we'll try and fail a few times over multiple lifetimes to reach our destiny, the same destiny. But for you, it's like you could have been trying at this one for a few lifetimes. Let's say their last 4 lifetimes you've been trying to reach your destiny, and so this lifetime you get it. You're basically going to attack your destiny, and you're going to live happily ever after. You are. Like, I see that in your chart. So what this means is that if you like past lives, which they really do explain everything in astrology, you started in your other lives working very hard for money, working very hard, taking complete ownership and control over your businesses, over your achievements. And you've done that lifetime after lifetime. But what you've been trying to change so that your soul can reach its dharma, because that's your karma, and you have your dharma over here, you've been needing to let go of some control and merge your soul with somebody else. So you are in a quest for a partner. You are in a quest for love, but partners in business, partners in love, partners in general, the more you can let go of your need to own and dive into collaboration and not even doing I'm gonna support you because I know you're gonna support me one day. That on its own is trying to get to this Scorpio idea, but you're going to be resentful, especially if, say, something happens and you're supporting somebody and then they're like, you know what, I'm going to break up with you. And then you're like all of those years wasted on somebody else. And they weren't mutual benefit. So Scorpio is about finding mutual benefit, being able to find somebody who's on the same page as you, who picks up where you lack, and who will work with you. Which means that when you find a partner, don't find someone that you can 100% support. Also, don't find somebody who can 100% support you. Find somebody who wants to collab with you, who wants to share your vision of your life, business-wise and lover, husband, wise. So what you can do, and so what that, really just looks like is a give and take that's sort of hard to find, but because you have all your planets there, you're going to find it. And so you asked me, how old you'll be when you settle down. I don't think you're going to be that old. Wait, you're 9 years younger than me, right? So I'm 31, 22. Oh, you're so young. You have your whole life ahead of you. You have Saturn in your 7th house, which means you probably really want to marry the first guy that comes along. Saturn represents marriage. Saturn represents lessons and issues too, but it also represents marriage, because when you feel like you want to be with somebody, you want it to be forever. Saturn equals forever. And if you feel like you don't want to be with somebody, if Saturn, say, is like transiting your Venus, all of a sudden you'll be like, oop, don't want to be with that person forever. I want to cut it off immediately. So with Saturn in your 7th house, that's what you're going to feel. It's either all or nothing. And you are willing to work very hard on a relationship if you believe in it. So remember to work hard on a relationship because you believe in it, and hope that know that they also believe in you and that you guys can work together. If there's a way for you to be able to find something unique to you that you want to do from home, and you can make money, or you can find a partner who wants to invest in you. And as I said, it's the same thing. You want to find a business partner to invest money in you, and you can give them creative input. Or if you want to find a lover, a husband, to invest their time in you and build you up so you can invest back in them and build them up. And you are going to make money that way. You'll make a lot of money. Scorpio North nodes, especially with your Jupiter right there and your Sun burning up your whole chart with Venus. Oh, it's beautiful. So beautiful. It just means that you can't do it on your own as much as you want to. As much as you want to hold on to all of the workload because you've done it so many times. You have to let go of the workload, give it to somebody else, and trust that they will be able to do it. And that is how you're going to be happy. So when you're finding that person, now your Saturn trines your Venus and it trines your Sun. It's in Pisces, but your 7th house is actually ruled by Aquarius. So Uranus is conjunct Neptune. Go figure. So you have a lot of Neptune rose-colored glasses about the men and that you're with, and maybe an over amount of love for them. In that case, let's see, does Saturn squares your moon. So what can happen is emotionally, you're not into that rose-colored glasses thing. You want something free and real, and something that can expand your mind and take you out of your reality. And you might find yourself running into people who promise you the world and can't give it to you at all, and you eat that stuff right up. So you have to be careful that you don't allow yourself to fall into any sort of traps, like the one I said, where you just spend time supporting somebody, believing they're going to believe in you later, and then they just don't. They just leave you high and dry. That is part of your karmic destiny, to deal with that, and it's up to you to work through that and work past that. Something else Leo ascendants like to do is support their partner. You have a lot of stuff in your chart that says you want to support your partner, but you have a lot that says your partner needs to support you. So you really have to find somebody who wants to completely invest in you that you can invest right back. So I feel like I've been repeating the same thing, but it just is common in your chart. Leo ascendants love supporting people. Because you almost feel like you're not the one with the original ideas, that your partner is. And in your case, that might actually be slightly true, because your ideas are more tried and true. And you've done them forever, you know. And so there might be a part of you where like your heart's not even in it anymore. You're highly creative. Taurus South Nodes, Taurus Midheaven, you're super creative. Your 5th house is ruled by Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, which is conjunct to your North Node. You're very creative and you're supposed to create. But what Taurus South Nodes lose is heart, because everything is work. And so when you can find somebody who picks up where you lack and maybe even expands your mind, when you're looking for that, somebody who's very who's interesting, who's unique, who thinks outside of the box, that's going to make you happy, actually. Like, you're going to find joy in that. It's going to be a little bit scary, but you're going to enjoy it because it's going to make you happy to create again. You're going to be like, I can add what you've given me and I can put it through what I already know. And I can put it all together and I can find joy and I can put my heart back in my work. And even though you're young, like I said, you have memories and lifetimes of losing your heart and just having to work your ass off. And this is not your life to work your ass off. This is your life to enjoy another person, to enjoy input from another person, and to tell them how you feel and have them understand you and take some of your load off. I mean, that's a really big deal. So you have to allow yourself to not be so stubborn with your views and allow someone to change your views. So with all of that, I don't believe that you're going to be that old when you get married. Your entire life revolves around partnerships. And so you will meet them in your 20s. And as I said, if it feels right, if it feels serious, you'll want to marry them. A lot of times Saturn in the 7th house, you get married during your Saturn return. So that's around 27, 28, 29. If it's the wrong person, and say if you get married before then, you might end up getting divorced around 28, 29. So what I would do with you, I would hold off until your Saturn return. That's the normal thing that we tell 7th house Saturn people. Hold off getting married till your Saturn return. If it's real and if you're supposed to be with them forever, you will marry them during that time. But if you marry them before and it ends up not being real, it will hit you like a ton of bricks. And they will be the worst Saturn in your life because you'll be living with them and connected to them, and it will be on paper and it will be a legal document, and that's so hard, and it just makes your Saturn return that much worse. And there's a part of you that might actually really enjoy having your Saturn in the 7th house to experience a lifetime knowing you're committed to the right person. So let's see, if your Saturn is actually in Pisces, we have Saturn in Sagittarius right now. You're going through your Saturn square. You're getting your brain stretched as far as love goes, and relationships go. And you might have recently broken up with somebody, or you might meet somebody soon that sort of expands your mind, but maybe doesn't last. That might be happening right now. Or you might even be feeling undateable, or you're never going to find anybody, but that's not true. So just hang in there. Whatever it is, it's something is happening with your Saturn where you're just feeling like love might be a mystery to you, or never come, but it's going to. It's pretty much promised in your chart. So the Saturn, so your Saturn is going to be in Sagittarius, and then for 2 years it will be in Capricorn. So that's 3 years plus another 2 is 5 years. You have about 5 to 6 years until your Saturn return. And then Saturn goes into Pisces, and you'll probably start feeling Saturn go over your 7th house when Saturn's in Aquarius. And that will be 4 to 5 years. You'll feel it more. So let me just make sure, think if I have any other questions from you. So I believe I answered them all, except for the will you move around a lot? You will. It's your destiny to travel, to move your home. Because you have Jupiter in the 4th house. Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about moving. 5th house is where you find pleasure. Sagittarius is long distance travel. You love that. You will find a lot of joy from that. But because Jupiter is conjunct your destiny, your North Node, it's something you have to work towards. And like I said, you are going to reach it. I don't see anything that's going to obstruct your ability to get happy and get all of the desires of your heart in this chart. Like, it's pretty amazing. You have your Aries in the 9th house. Now, Mars is something that will also help obstruct your ability to move, because Mars is in your 12th, and that means that you might feel like you're not allowed to act and react the way you want to. And since it's square your Sun, it's square Venus, and it's square your North Node and your Jupiter, it rules over your 9th house, which is normally ruled by Jupiter. You have a big issue, like you almost feel like you're forced to stay in one place and everything in you wants to go. So you're eventually going to go. You're eventually just going to leave, and it's probably going to be on a whim. But eventually you'll be able to round yourself out more and take control of your own life. And that's a really big deal for you. This is where I don't want to lose you or confuse you, because I say one thing and then I'm like, but then I go on a different track. You have to take control of your life, as in do the things that you want to do, but recognize that what you want to do is let go of some of your baggage. Let go of some things that don't suit you anymore. Let go of some of your old tired ideas. Let go of the idea that you think that you have to work your ass off this life. And allow yourself to relax and totally immerse yourself with other people and get to know other people from all different walks of life, and allow their ideas to come in with yours and find people to collaborate with. And that will make you very happy. And you do have more than your average creative placements. Like, everything I see in here, I'm just creative is regurgitating out of my mouth. And you have a very special chart. I know you're going to go really far in life, and I'm not saying that you need to collaborate with somebody else just to like lose yourself. You won't lose yourself in them. Don't do that. That's like the opposite extreme. You just need to allow yourself to have an easier life than what you're even thinking that you want. Because if you're controlling and holding on to everything and running shit ragged and beating the same thing to the ground just because you know it should work, you're not going to be happy. You have to let other people open your mind to new possibilities. And once you do that, you'll fall in love with life, with somebody. You'll be married. You'll fall in love with your kids. And it looks like, actually, when you have children, you'll probably move. You might move before then. You could have your children abroad. Sagittarius, Jupiter in the 5th. It's your children. But your first child is your Jupiter kid, so they will probably force you to move. Or you'll travel to go have them. Whatever. Your Jupiter kid is going to be a really special kid, your first child. Your second child will probably be very beautiful. Anyway, that is your story. And I will talk to you later, Natasha. Bye.